Good morning to all my friends and family, and here we are down at Circular Quay on this Monday, this cloudy Monday. The only good thing about it today is that it's still, not a breath of air at all, so the water is absolutely still. It's warm, it's a spring day, and it feels a little bit more like summer. I can just feel a bit of mugginess kicking on. So let's go on our walk and talk and see what we can come up with today in terms of a topic to chat away with and kick off our work week. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I certainly had an awesome weekend. It was my youngest granddaughter's first birthday, and we celebrated at home with a small group of people, just immediate family, because of COVID and all the limitations that we have imposed on us. My home has been a source of joy for many occasions, for many parties, and to have just 20 people celebrating an event seems quite somber, but what can you do? But we made the most of it. We put on a pig on the spit, a 15 kilo young female porker, and I think we pulled it off yesterday. So I'll be doing a lot more pig in future, because lamb is a bit of a hit and miss, and once it goes cold, it's not as enjoyable. Whereas pig, you can enjoy the next day, and it's quite a spectacle seeing the skin bubble up and turn into crackling, and I think that's the way we'll go from now on. Anyway, let's have a bit of a chat as we're going. I want to touch on a topic or two that I've got near and dear to my heart, and I think today's topic that I want to chat to you about is from a book that I recently read, a book summary called Principles by Ray Dalio, and I'll just select one of those things that I read from that book, which I found quite powerful, and I hope you do too, especially in a world where we're inundated by opinion, from different commentators, and everybody's confused as to what's right, what's wrong, what's fake, what's real, and also the volume of particular views. And Ray Dalio makes a very, very valid point, and something that I've been aware of for many years, but to hear him articulate it in this way makes it also powerful and empowering and useful. He basically says that not all opinions are equal. Not all opinions carry an equal weight. And what he means by that is that everybody has theories, everybody has ideas about life, about things, but not all of those views, not all of those opinions are empowering, supported by facts, and useful to include in our kitty, our inventory of ideas in terms of how the world works. And I remember years ago when I used to work at IBM, I had a really senior manager as a boss. He was an advisor to the then CEO of IBM, Mr. Finn. was the CEO and Greg Gleason was my manager. And I remember him saying once, he says, James, everybody's entitled to an opinion, mate. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But right now, today, right here and now, I think that your opinion stinks. So what do you think of that? I sat back and thought about it, and then, of course, years later, I tend to agree with what he was saying about that particular topic. I hadn't considered all the consequences, and I didn't have the experience to have an opinion and be opinionated. And what Greg said was, look, at the end of the day, while the world says that everybody, is entitled to an opinion, not everybody is entitled to an opinion. He said, the only people who are entitled to an opinion and to voice their opinion are those who are experienced, who know what they're talking about, and are believable. The most important thing to ask yourself is that person who's hosting that particular opinion, are they believable? Do they know what they're talking about? Can they support their opinion with fact, with anecdote? Or is it just a shoot from the hip? Is that how they feel? Or is that what their mates at the pub talk about and say? And you see it all the time. You see it on Facebook, you see it on Instagram, you see it in the news. There's a lot of groupthink out there where people just take a topic, take an idea, and because it's said by somebody who's popular, or it appears to be popular, appears to be what people are talking about and agreeing at dinner parties, doesn't mean it's right. Just because everybody on Instagram say something or are against somebody or have a particular point of view doesn't make them right. Volume doesn't make it right. My mother always used to say, there's no degrees of right and wrong. Either it's right or it's wrong. And if you sit and spend your time trying to convince others of the rightness of something that is wrong or the wrongness of something is right, then you're bearing a rod for your back. So most importantly, take heed and understand that people need to earn the right to have an opinion, and the currency of that is their experience, their believability. Do they know what they're talking about? And don't forget, we're also surrounded by charlatans, people who are oh so good at talking about things. They're very seductive in their words, in their articulation, in their oratory skills. But at the end of the day, if what they're saying is wrong, then it's wrong. So don't get sucked into the popularity contest. Just because a schoolgirl on the other side of the world voices an opinion, it doesn't mean that all the school children across the world need to follow in her footsteps. Just because Dan Andrews has an opinion that he should shut down his state doesn't mean that all Australia needs to carry the brunt of those poor decisions, of those poor economic decisions that will suffocate and absolutely cripple the business community of Melbourne. Because it's okay to have a captain's call, but you need to be a good captain. You don't need to be a one-eyed or one principled sort of captain. So as the book of principles talk about, you need to be very, very careful very, very careful with the opinions and the people that you bank on, because if you bank on the wrong people, you'll end up being financially stretched and bankrupt altogether. So how do we use this? I guess for young people, as my mother used to say when I was growing up, just because all your mates think it's right, just because all your mates are doing it, it doesn't mean that you have to do it. Doesn't mean that you have to follow like a lemming and just go running over the cliff just because somebody runs over a cliff. There's a limit in our lives to how many big mistakes we can make. And when you're young, you can get away with a few. But certainly when you're in your mid-20s to your mid-30s, making big mistakes at those ages in terms of career choices, choices of who you hang out with, choices of who you have relationships with, are absolutely critical. So I think we'll leave it there today. But once again, let's finish off knowing that people who have opinions need to be careful of those opinions, because they're influencing people around them with what they think, say and do. And at the end of the day, the philanderer, the druggie, the alcoholic, the person who's breaking up relationships all the time, the messed up people in the world, they're not the people who we need to be looking to for opinion and for leadership. If anything, they're the sorts of people that we use as an example of how not to do things. So let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. And look around your social circle, look around your Facebook friends, look around your Instagram followers, and ask yourself the simple question: are they a role model? Are they a leader in their field? Are they entitled to have an opinion? Or do they just have an opinion just to be popular, just to gain attention? And will their opinion amount to anything? Or will it just bring people down and allow them to crash and burn? So let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant. And as you can see on this cloudy Monday morning, make the most of this week ahead. Have a good Monday and a good start to the week, to the business week. And think clearly, think deeply about your friends and all those people who you have in your social circle. Because at the end of the day, make no mistake, as many of the social commentators say, you end up becoming the average of the half dozen people that you hang out with or that you look up to. So be very discerning, very, very discerning. Be very discerning with who you hang out with, and most importantly, whose opinion you take on board. Because as we said before, and as Ray Dalio says, not everybody earns the right to have an opinion. Yes, people can have theories, people can have ideas, but not all opinions are equal in their weighting. And it's the smart leaders, it's the smart operators who are able to decipher the BS from the empowering. So be a detective for BS and be drawn to opinion that is empowering and uplifting. Take care, have a great rest of the day from Jim's 5am Club, Yassas, and I've enjoyed coming to you today, and I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow at 5am from another location here in Sydney, and to kick off the day with a chat, with an idea and something to keep us slowly moving in a good direction and to empower us and make us stronger. Yassas and bye for now.